Coming up, I'm going to go over my mechanical advantage or my deer haul that I put in my field dressing kit, so stick around. Hey, it's the OCD Hunter, bringing you tips, tricks, DIY hacks, and other useful ways that my OCD can help make your life a little bit more simpler. Recently, I did a video on the update to my deer field dressing kit. And in that, I showed you my mechanical advantage or my deer haul that I put in there in case I'm by myself and I need to get the deer up off the ground to help me to field dress the deer. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how I made it and how it works. So starting with the basics here, if you put a load through a single pulley, you get what they call a 1-to-1 system. So if I have a rope that comes from a load up over a pulley, for every foot I pull, it's going to raise a foot. But if the load is 150 pounds, what I'm pulling on the other end is 150 pounds. And this is important to understand because when you get to a mechanical advantage, you're able to modify these factors. So when you're dealing with a mechanical advantage, basically the two big variables that are going to affect you are the pull and the lift. So you're changing how much you distribute the weight and how far you have to pull. So if you start with that same system with the 1-to-1, and let's say it's 150 pounds, but if there's some way that you can capture that initial load, that initial line with the pulling line, usually done at the pulley, and then place in a mechanical advantage with the two pulleys at the top going through the same connector, what happens is if you have a 150 pound load, that first line will take a third of the load. That 3-to-1 system will take 50 pounds of the load, and the pull string that you pull on will take 50 pounds of the load. But you have to know that for every 3 feet you're gonna pull that line, the load will only raise 1 feet in the air. So in my haul system, the way I have it set up is I have 2 hooks, one at the top and one at the bottom. And on those 2 hooks, I have 2 chain links, which will act as pulleys. So the way I capture the load is I actually tie it directly into the top hook. Then I will come down and go through one of the chain links. Now that's the main line, so that's going to capture a third of the load. So at 150 pounds, that'll be 50 pounds. Then what I'm going to create is my mechanical advantage, which will be a 3-to-1 system. So I will go up through one of the next chain link, down through the other chain link, and then at the top I use another chain link for basically just a change of direction to pull down. This 3-to-1 system will distribute 50 pounds, and the rope that I pull on will then take 50 pounds. But once again, remembering that for every pull you do for 3 feet, you're only lifting that animal 1 feet in the air. So my deer haul or my mechanical advantage consists of basically 3 parts. And if you can see, each part I've made a distinct color. I just color coded it so when I'm out in the field I don't get confused. It's just easy to grab what I know is what each part is. So the first part is real simple. It is just a length of paracord that I folded in half, and then I tied overhand knots about every 4 inches. And what that allowed me to do is whatever I want to lift, in this case, most likely I'd be putting this around a deer's neck, is I can run this through and make a noose and that'll be taut around it, and then I can clip my haul into one of these hooks to lift it up. The second thing is my anchoring strap. Now this is a long piece of paracord, and I have just a chain link on it, and on the chain link I've wrapped it with some hockey tape just to make it so it doesn't bang in my packaging and make noise. The weight will allow me to take it and throw up over a branch if I need to, and I've got plenty of line then to secure it, and then I could lower it higher or lower, but this will be the anchor for the actual haul system. So for the haul system, and then what also I have, this is just that fast deploy paracord tying. I think I got a video on it. I'll put a link on the top of the description, but it just allows me to pull this out and it deploys. And I've got it on my hauling system as well, which when I pull it apart, let's see, I can let you be able to see this a little bit better. So the idea behind this is it's just straight a mechanical advantage of what we talked about earlier in the video. Let me pull this out of the way. So the idea is I wrap that around the neck, and then I put this into here, and then I hook this onto the anchor, and then I'm able to haul it up. And with the mechanical advantage, you can see that here's your main line. So that's going to capture a third of the load. So let's say it's 150 pounds. This will be 50 pounds. And then over here, you have your 3-to-1 system. And I can hang it either way. But probably the way I'll hang it is to have the load captured at the top, because that gives me a turn of a direction to be able to get more leverage to pull down. And then the way I used to make it was I just used these hooks, and on it I put a couple more chain links and use these basically for the pulleys because they're nice and smooth. Once again, I put hockey tape on them just on the outsides just to keep from it rattling, but you don't want to put it on the area where the rope is going to rub because you'll create friction. So what I did to tie this was I just tied this up in a knot, and then I put some hockey tape just to keep the loop from being open too big, and I put it onto the first clip. And then on each clip I put the chain links. And then the way you run it is you come from the load and you're going to go up through one of the chain links to treat it like a pulley. Then you're going to come back down through a chain link on the other side to be used as a pulley, and then run it back down through the second chain link on the other side, and then finally back up and through one more chain link at the top. So if you look the way this works, when it pulls, it's going to pull it from the 3-to-1 system, which will take a third of your weight, and when there's weight on it, you'll get it more equally distributed. You would get a third of the load from the main load because it'll pull up as you go through as well, and then finally the third of the load is what you'll be lifting. So if you're lifting a 150-pound deer, you're going to have 50 here, 50 here, and you're going to feel like you're lifting 50 pounds. So that's why it's called a mechanical advantage, and that's why it makes it easier to lift a heavy weight And then once you can get the deer up and you're by yourself, you now have the ability to field dress it and let gravity help you pull the inner anatomy out. Now to show it in action, what I'll do is just use this tree right in front of my house, but I'm going to use the anchor rope and I'll just secure it on the branch and put this excess up here. But this anchor you can place however high you need it, and then I will connect my haul or my 3-to-1 mechanical vantage system and then extend it down. Now I have this 60-pound weight that I'll use as the deer for an example, and I'll wrap the cordage around the strap and then hook it in. But with the mechanical vantage, what happens is it distributes the weight, and since it's 60 pounds, it's only really like I'm pulling 20 pounds up. And once I get the weight up to where I want it, then I can take the rope I have and then lock it off and secure it and do whatever I need to field dress the deer. Well, there you have it, my mechanical vantage or deer haul or whatever you want to call it. I hope this video helped you. I'm the OCD Hunter, and I hope that my continual painstaking practice of changing, fixing, and improving on ideas will help you out in your endeavors. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that bell next to the subscribe button to get notified of new videos. Remember, comments are always welcome.